What's up, everybody? Josh Armijo here. I hope everybody's doing good and well and stuff. I am here today to do my honorable mentions, personal favorites list for the calendar year of 2014. Yeah. In preparation for my lists of the best material to have come out this year from the world of metal, it has been so very difficult for me to figure out and decide what albums I wanted to touch base upon, what albums I'm going to put in my top 20, and what albums I'm going to be discussing as far as the honorable mentions list is concerned. It has been such a very arduous and difficult task for me to even pick which albums I'm going to talk about, because there are just far too many to choose from. I mean, as far as my top 20 is concerned, you'll be seeing that very shortly, and that's pretty much set in stone. But as far as the honorable mentions go, these are 10 personal favorites of mine that I've really gotten enjoyment, and honestly, I don't feel they need to be put on any sort of list to justify it. So, the first album on my honorable mentions list is the new album from the band Tombs, entitled Savage Gold. Michael Hill and his crew have really come forward again, blending so many different musical styles into their metal sound, whether it be post-metal or sludge or post-punk with the vocal varieties, or death metal or black metal. They make any kind of musical style work, and with Savage Gold they really go for the throat this time around. I mean, you hear it on the opening track Thanatos, and then from then on there it's just straight out memorable from the get-go. I mean, Seance, Death Tripper is an absolutely amazing song. I mean, I love the musicianship that's being presented on Savage Gold. I love Eric Rutan's production, and I definitely love the vocal performance by Michael Hill. His growling is amazing, his crooning and singing is very top-notch, and definitely something that makes him stand out amongst a lot of the vocal styles, a lot of vocalists within that sort of metal subgenre. And I think Savage Gold is another testament as to how powerful of a band Tombs can really be, and Savage Gold really got the job done with that. The next album on my honorable mentions list is the new one from Archspire, entitled The Lucid Collective. This is one of the most interesting technical death metal records I've heard in 2014, mainly for a lot of varying reasons. For the fact that it had such a very glossy and clean production, but also for the fact that it had some really top-notch technicality going for it. Technical sort of sounds are definitely what Archspire set out to do, and with the Lucid Collective, they've delivered some incredible guitar riffs, very immaculate, technical, and very well-versed. The bass tones are incredible. I love the relentless, fast drumming. I really love this drummer's style. Lots of fast blasting, blast beats, just a lot of great memorable fills and moments. And the vocals are something to behold, too. I mean, this guy's vocal wordplay and delivery is just insane. It's like you're listening to a modern technical death metal version of Twista or Busta Rhymes, if you're into that sort of hip-hop thing. That's the kind of vibe I get when I listen to him deliver his vocal styles. I mean, he has it in him to deliver such great vocals, and yet the way he delivers the lyrics too are just so awesome. I mean, it's a very interesting technical death metal record, but these Canadians know exactly what they're doing, and they definitely are living up to their motto of stay tech. And with the Lucid Collective, they definitely are staying tech with that record. It's just so much fun to listen to. The next album on my honorable mentions list is the debut album from Abhorrent Castigation, entitled Throne of Existential Abandonment. This has been a debut that I have been waiting for and looking forward to for a very long time, and I definitely think with Throne of Existential Abandonment, Abhorrent Castigation really have come a long way from where they used to be. They had a more dirty, raw, kind of brutal death metal sound in their previous works, but once they moved to full-length material, they took their craft a lot more seriously. They bumped up the production value just a little bit more, and I definitely think this is the sound that Abhorrent Castigation are meant to be delivering and pulling out. And there is just so much great works to be found on here. I mean, Lille Gruber of Defeated Sanity played drums on this. He, of course, also played drums on the new Twitch of the Death Nerve record. But I believe this album is where we get to hear him at his absolute maximum peak. His drum work is just so sensational. I love his fills, his snare tone, the the double bass. It's just a very marvelous drum clinic. But as far as the rest of the musicianship goes, I love the guitar and bass work. It's just very on point and just delivered very naturally, and I love the vocals. Very ugly, disgorge-like vocals. Definitely a great point of this record, and even to the lyrical content. It's far and away different from your usual sort of blood and guts and gore sort of fare. Very intelligent, philosophical sort of lyrics being delivered on this album, and it definitely adds to this album's unique sort of concept. Throne of Existential Abandonment is a debut to remember, and I definitely will be looking forward to more great things that Abhorrent Castigation has set to come with their work. The next album on my list is pretty much my favorite hard rock heavy metal record of this year, and that is High Spirits with You Are Here. Yeah, Chris Black is a great musician. You of course know him for his work with bands such as Superchrist, Dawnbringer, Metal Lucifer. But with High Spirits, this band definitely takes you back to the earlier days of the mid-'80s, to when melodic hard rock and adult-orientated rock definitely served its footing in music. And in addition to the heavy metal sort of vibes and elements that this band brings, it invokes such a heavy amount of catchiness. And with You Are Here, this album is full of catchy riffs, catchier hooks. I mean, stuff you can just sing along to. I mean, I Need Your Love, When the Lights Go Down, The Last Night. I mean, just some incredible sing-along music being done here. I mean, the guitar playing is very natural, the bass licks are very natural. I love the greatness of Chris's vocals. I mean, he pretty much does it all in one piece for the studio. And of course, when it comes to the live material, it's definitely much more fun. High Spirits is just a very good vibed sort of hard rock band, and they definitely get the job done with You Are Here. The next album on my list is the new album from the band Mortis, entitled Grape of the Vine. Artwork's a little bit dark, so I hope you can see it really well. It's really nice Catola artwork. But if you're not aware of Mortis, they're from Sweden, and they pretty much have a very no tag, no frill sort of style when it comes to delivering black metal. And with Grape of the Vine, they definitely deliver some very thought-provoking, elaborate, and almost occult-sounding black metal. This band is total serious business, and it is definitely something that requires your absolute attention for the 7 tracks that are on here. I think it's just really amazing to listen to the music being structured here. I love the riff work. I love the craftiness and the meticulousness of the songs, the paces of everything. I love the great vocal styles that are being presented here. I mean, just a lot of memorable songs. Once again, this is straightforward Swedish black metal. No gimmicks, no tags. Mortis are the legitimate real deal, and they deliver a very awesome album with Grape of the Vine. The next album on my list is another album to represent the technical death metal sort of things, and this is pretty much my favorite release of said music genre. That, of course, is Inanimate Existence, A Never-Ending Cycle of Atonement. This is my favorite technical death metal record of this year for many, many reasons. I definitely think this is a massive step up from Liberation Through Hearing, and with this album, they delve deeper into their mythologies and their musical concepts. The lyrical content is definitely something that makes me love this album more and more as I listen to it, and definitely, as I've said previously, this is something that makes you enjoy the aspect of owning physical media, something to read along with, go along with it. Not only the lyrics, but this album's concept is just so marvelous. It is amazing to read along to and just be understood of what's being presented here. But aside from the story, I think the musicianship is so top-notch. I love the guitar playing, great intricate riffs, awesome guitar melodies. I love the vocal styles. I love the drum patterns, very clean and smooth bass. This band is definitely legitimate when it comes to technical death metal, and from what I understand, for the next album, they will probably delve even deeper than what they already did on A Never-Ending Cycle of Atonement. Hell, there may even be more concepts and storylines from this band in the future, so I think it's definitely going to be amazing to listen to what Inanimate Existence bring to the table here. The next album on my list is the new album from the band Jig-ai entitled Rising Sun Carnage. What a band! What a great band and what a great release. I mean, these guys know how to deliver well-produced, well-versed gore grind, and it definitely sounds as if you're listening to a modern contemporary sort of grindcore record. I mean, the bass tone, the complete insanity of the drums. I just think it's so amazing to listen to this drummer play his ass off on this record. But the riffs and bass tones are just tremendous. The vocals are just so guttural and nasty and abrasive. I love what they do here with the vocal style. And of course the song titles are absolutely hysterical. Menstrual Tea Relax, Rest in Piss, Shint Kunsen, Hardcock Cafe. I mean, this is what gore grind is supposed to feel like and be like, and Jig-ai definitely deliver probably one of their best records in a very long time, and definitely keep the spirit of gore grind alive. The next release on my list is probably one of my favorite EPs of this year, and definitely one of the most hilarious EPs to come out this year. And I'm talking about the debut EP from Engutteralment Cephaloslammectomy with 812. Of course, the grotesque album cover art, very reminiscent of the debut from Devourment, Molesting the Decapitated. But this band has such a very interesting concept to them. It pretty much parodies the culture and ideals of brutal death metal and slam culture, most notably the flat brim hats, the gold chains, the sweatpants. It is very much a parody and satire of the look and the image of certain things. But one thing that is not a joke is definitely the music. It definitely has an older Devourment sort of feeling and vibe with the music. I mean, the drums are definitely one of the greatest things to be heard on this album. Just so relentless, full of fast blast beats, hypergravity style blasts. It's just insane. Even the slammier breakdown sort of parts sound insane. The bass drops are so heavy. I love the riff work being presented here. And even the vocals are entertaining to listen to. I mean, there's no real emphasis on lyrics. It's just vocal improvisation. Even the finger to the lips sort of vocal style. It is just so entertaining to listen to. This guy really is a great vocalist, and I definitely think he has way more to offer than what he did on this EP. From what I understand, they're already working on a full-length album, and No Cows Will Be Sacred, not just slam and will be discussed or targeted, so to speak. Just remember, this is just parody stuff. It is satire, it is comedy. Some people didn't really get it, but to those that did get it, I definitely think this is a hilarious release, and the music definitely speaks for itself. Next album on my list is pretty much something that's a given to anybody who's been a subscriber or follower of my channel. I told myself I wasn't going to include any year-end list without the mention of my favorite band of all time, and that, of course, being Cannibal Corpse. And Cannibal Corpse did come out with a new album this year entitled A Skeletal Domain. Cannibal Corpse pretty much are one of the most successful, if not the most successful, death metal band in the whole wide world. Constantly, relentlessly touring the world, touring the States, selling a lot of music. But with the Skeletal Domain, it pretty much continued on in the same business that this band has been doing for quite a while. Pretty much business as usual, meat and potatoes death metal. But in like the old saying goes, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And I think Cannibal Corpse embody that sort of style very well here. They incorporate so many catchy and memorable songs. I mean, the opening track, High Velocity Impact Spatter, the song Killer Become, which I firmly believe will be one of the most played new songs to be done live. I know they're going to be touring with Behemoth, Aeon, and Tribulation next year, and I'm optimistic that this will be the one song that gets everybody in the pit hyped up and crazy. In addition to just the catchy riffs and catchy hooks, this is a very awesome production as well. This is probably one of the better produced Cannibal Corpse albums in quite some time. I really had a blast listening to this great production style, and definitely one of the more entertaining Cannibal Corpse releases to come out in quite some time. But hey, what do you know? I'm a big fan of this band. I love Cannibal Corpse. And the last album on my list of honorable mentions and personal favorites of the year is an album by the name of Sun Eater. Which Sun Eater am I talking about, though? Am I talking about the Sun Eater that was released from the UK-based Black Death band entitled Lucifer? Or am I talking about the Sun Eater released from deathcore turned death metal band Job for a Cowboy? Of course, both bands had the same album title. Both albums were respectively different, and I did happen to enjoy both of those respective releases. But I gotta go with the one that came out first, and the first one, of course, being Sun Eater by Lucifer. Incredible Katola artwork. I mentioned Katola's artwork earlier with the Mortis release, but this artwork is just so amazing. But behind the artwork lies some incredibly volcanic and sinister black and death metal, very much in the vein of Morbid Angel, Immolation. I mean, if you like Pseudo God or any of that sort of stuff, Lucifer definitely deliver the goods and just run with an incredibly relentless album. I mean, Liber Lilith, Necromantian, just some incredible songwriting going on here. The vocals are great. Menthor's drumming is just sensational. You're going to be hearing about Menthor again later on in the lists that I do, so yeah, if you're a fan of black and death metal, Lucifer have definitely broken the mold with Sun Eater. I think this is an absolutely amazing release. I mean, if you prefer this Sun Eater or any other Sun Eater, whatever floats your boat, but definitely Lucifer get the job done with this album. So that's my list of honorable mentions and personal favorites. Next video will be my top 20, number 20 through 11. So I'm going to conclude this video. Thanks a lot for watching. Thanks for checking out my channel, and until the next time, Army Ho out.